Hi, my name is EJ, and today I'll be showing you how I went from being a skinny teenager to a less skinny non-teenager in 4 years, while building a massive supplement tower of all the supplements that I've saved over the past 4 years of training. Let me take them all out first. Holy moly. When I was younger, I was always on the skinnier side, and it took me a long time to develop. I was always the smaller kid, both in, muscle size and also in height. I was like always the shorter kid in the group, and I don't think I really hit puberty until I was like freshman year of high school. Till then I was tiny. I feel like I'm missing some. I think I have more actually. Okay, I found one more. Wait, let me figure out how to do this first. I need to make this look super cool and like fancy and stuff, so. Okay, I got this. When I started lifting, it was in freshman year of college, in my second semester. And I started because my roommate was just a ginormous, massive monster. He was just a big, strong guy. And eventually, in the second semester, he started taking me to the gym with him, which was fun. Except the workout was like 8 sets of 20 reps and starting with like 45 minutes of running on the treadmill or something like that. It was a really not great workout plan, unfortunately. But that's how I started going to the gym. I also had team lift at that time for lifting, or not for lifting, for fencing, but that wasn't really lifting. That was mostly like speed and agility stuff. I don't really count that. But that was also in my freshman year. That looks wrong. That looks weird. You like the socks, by the way? These are some of my favorite purple socks of all time. I have a few. Freshman year I started lifting, but it was, I didn't know the first thing about program design or sets or reps and volume and stuff or how to eat. So I was kind of just doing whatever. It wasn't really until the start of sophomore year that I started lifting consistently, but I still had no idea what I was doing. That was when I got introduced into powerlifting and was doing that for a little bit. I would be doing squats 1RMs into deadlift 1RMs like every other day. And then on the days when I wasn't doing that, I would be doing bench 1RMs. So it's basically just like a 1RM cycle for almost an entire year. I didn't understand anything about lifting or eating. I would eat anything from the school cafeteria. And that was when I dove very deeply into supplements. I would lift with my roommate at 9:30 p.m. and take 400 milligrams of caffeine at that time. Get food right before the dining hall closed. Eat at 12:30, come back, watch anime, eat, and then sleep at like 3 a.m. daily. And then wake up for 8 a.m. So it was not the most ideal thing you can do from a performance and recovery standard, but we did it anyway because it was fun and we didn't know better. And then when I came home, this is the exact same way me and my friends would train. So we would get a bunch of us together in the same room and then go for like the most heinous 1RMs of all time, like every other day, and just hype each other up because it was super fun. At that point in time, none of us had no idea what we were doing. It was just fun, and it was kind of like a group hangout where we would all lift. How do I make this look better? I'll make this the gorilla mode side. And then in the start of junior year, that's when I really learned about training. And that's also when I went on my first bulk. Well, I call it a bulk, but it was kind of just eat as much as possible at all times until I was stuffed. And yeah, I ended up getting quite large as a result. I think I just put on straight fat mass at that time. What came next? I remember during this time I also thought I was like some phenom, some genetic phenom, and that I was like the biggest guy out there, but I didn't know anything about the gym or lifting or how strong and big people could actually get. I was just sitting in my own little delusion, I guess. But it was around then, in my junior year, that I discovered bodybuilding, for real. And I think this was the second semester in junior year. I think the first person I found was Terrence Ruffin, and he became my GOAT idol and is still to this day. And then that's when I realized, these guys are huge. So then I set my sights on becoming aesthetic. I wanted to become a really good poser. I wanted to become huge. So that became my new goal. And then throughout the second semester of junior year into the summer, I started training more like a hybrid style where I would go 3 days on in like a powerlifting style where I would do SBD in a row and then do higher rep ranges with more movements focused on hypertrophy and stuff. So I trained like that until early in my senior year of college. Whoa. And then I think just before my break in senior year, between fall and spring semester, is when I decided that I wanted to compete in a bodybuilding show. After a long deliberation, I found a show and I decided I want to do it. From the start of second semester until April, I did a bulk, but I bulked too fast because I thought I was offsetting the weight loss that I would experience from fencing, because throughout this entire time I was fencing full-time in college. So I thought that I needed to add insane amount of calories to make sure that I was still gaining weight, because I was bulking at the time, but I was just eating whatever I wanted. I think I had on average 3,600 calories a day, which was a little excessive, I think. And I also probably went through like 3 periods of overtraining during that time. So, or not overtraining, overreaching, non-functional overreaching, exercise knowledge or whatever. But I kept doing it because I thought that's what I had to do to become the best bodybuilder ever. And I ended up super chubby at the end of it. So I was then 4 months out from my bodybuilding show. I was a little too chunky, a little more chunky than I wanted to be. So I did an aggressive cut until the middle of May, when me and my friends went to Japan, which was not the smartest thing to do 10 weeks out from your first bodybuilding show, because I just do whatever I wanted. I trained twice the entire 2 weeks that I was there. Not ideal. So even after when I came home, I just was super locked in for the next 8 to 9 weeks. We made it to the show and I placed. So I was really happy about that. And I think genuinely that the entire prep and the feeling of being on stage was one of the best feelings I've ever had in my entire life. So I kind of got hooked on the sport after that, and it became something that was really important to me. So I am now currently, it's about 6 months since then, and I'm still just completely hooked on bodybuilding. I want to compete again, and next time I compete, I really want to win. And I want to win in a way that's like, I want to blow everyone else out of the competition. I want to really win an overwhelming victory on the stage, but I have a long ways to go before then. But I think March of 2021 was when I started lifting. So this is a little after 4 years since then. And I think that lifting is specifically bodybuilding, has changed the course of my life and is now integrated into everything I do. So it's crazy how things can happen like that in the span of 4 years, but here we are. Where to put this last one? That's ridiculous now. And here's my completed tower. Yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening to me, yap about my experiences and all in bodybuilding. But for me, this is just the start. I hope to get another 4 years under my belt and become a serious competitor by then. Thank you.